The press and the Down Beach Current were notified of this meeting. A copy of the same is posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building and on the municipal website. The meeting will come to order. Would you please stand for the flag salute? Attention, salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Tom, would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Becker.
Here.
Mr. Blumberg.
Here.
Mr. Lobby.
Here.
What is your pleasure regarding the minutes of our March 20th meetings?
I make a motion that we approve those minutes.
I'll second.
Mr. Becker.
Yes.
Mr. Blumberg.
Yes.
Mr. Lobby.
Yes.
Thank you. Is there any public comment? You have 3 minutes.
All right, the last shall be first. Sewell, 22 West Drive. Mayor, listen up. Tommy Collins' elevator may go to the top floor, but yours stops far short due to the bats in the belfry. At last Tuesday's Board of Estimate meeting, you and your cohort, co-defendant and co-conspirator sat there like a pair of pixelated parrots with full frontal lobotomies. Your paranoid cohort gets her knickers in a twist and throws a royal hissy fit over the chump change of the Marketplace Realty Phantom contract. Meanwhile, grinning like a Cheshire cat when the school board is financially raping, robbing, and pillaging the taxpayers for more than $1.3 million over a henny penny bogus asbestos problem that simply doesn't exist in situ. Neither one of you realized you were being gamed, flim-flammed, scammed, and conned. Since neither one of you possesses a gram of gray matter, no red light, red flags, or sirens went off when there was not one red cent of state grant money to assist in this so-called asbestos removal. Furthermore, your sleazy, cheesy accountancy firm, which more than eagerly assisted you and your co-conspirator during your campaign, soft-pedaled, going deeper into bonded indebtedness. Why? Don't answer that question, Mayor. Because they don't give a tinker's damn if they have a real ethical conflict of interest representing both the city and the school board. Dohowever, Mayor, you're old enough to remember the attributed words of the late, great U.S. Senator Everett Dirksen. And his words should be heeded. Quote, "A million here, a million there, and pretty soon you're talking real money." Simply because we're retiring bonded indebtedness, Mayor, doesn't mean that you give the school board carte blanche to squander money. All the lies that you tell about vendor being unwilling and unable to share services are bogus, false, and fabricated. I have recently communicated with the president of the Ventnor School Board, and once again, they stand ready, willing, and able to assist us in a projected absorption of K through 3. But, Mayor, it requires cooperation both from this commission and from the Margate School Board. I have an open request in, Mayor, for the data which was requested, and I'm looking forward to very swift cooperation in getting this data composed so the Ventnor School Board President can make the necessary determination for the closing of one of the 2 schools. The Ampankos favored the closing of time, and in light of the $1.3 million we're going to squander on asbestos, she might have been right. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, John.
23 North Sumner. With regards to our negotiations with the state and the federal government and the city, I know that we're all trying to do the best we can for Margate, but I'm just concerned that if on the one hand we refuse to be helpful in getting these easements, is the state on the other hand going to not be so receptive to helping us out, let's say on the Back Bay or some other project that we want? I think these dunes are coming, okay? Whether you want it or not, they're coming, and this fighting is counterproductive. I thought the idea was to get the best deal that we could with the state. Look, that we'll give you the easements, but what can you do to help us in the Back Bay? Something like that. Because we lost the fight, okay? The fight's over, and I think what we should do now is try to get the best deal that we can for the city. I said this before, a couple months ago. So if you, look, we'll help you with the easements. Can you help us with the Back Bay? That's all.
Thank you, Steve. Anyone else?
That's his story, and he should stick to it. Question. I know you don't answer questions, but I'm asking one anyway. The situation with Dan Gallagher and Marketplace Realty, has the JIF been asked to be involved in that? I know I spoke with Commissioner Blumberg about it. No?
No.
Why not?
It's a good question.
Every other law situation has been presented to the JIF. Why should the Margate taxpayer cover this?
Well, there's been no tort claim notice. There's been no lawsuit filed at this point in time.
So why have we hired a lawyer if there's no lawsuit?
To represent the city's interests, and if there is a lawsuit, we'll pass it over to them and see if they'll cover us.
Has that ever been done before? We hire a lawyer to represent what interests? Is there a legal issue here?
There could be, of course. Yeah.
There could be, but unless somebody sues.
Well, there's been,
I understand
there's
that.
been a threat, and there has to be a resolution to this issue.
There's been a threat of a lawsuit, correct?
Yes, there has been.
Okay. But until there is a lawsuit, the city doesn't need to defend itself against that lawsuit because there's no lawsuit.
Well, that's your opinion, but I don't agree with you.
It's not an opinion. It's a statement of fact.
Facts as you see them, perhaps. You're right.
No, it's a legal issue. How do you hire a lawyer in case we might get a suit against us? We're paying tax. The reason why you didn't submit it to the JIF, because the JIF doesn't cover hiring a lawyer to see if maybe someone's going to sue. And you all know it. And you're better than that, Solicitor Abbott. You're better than that. I'm sorry? You're not accurate. Okay, I'm not accurate. In Commissioner Tobey's statements, she said that if there was a lawsuit, then we would hire a lawyer to represent the city, and we'd have to get outside counsel because of your conflict of interest. So now there's still no lawsuit, and we've hired an attorney because why, Commissioner Tobey? You said if there was a lawsuit. There is no lawsuit. There's no lawsuit, therefore we can't cover the JIF. And the mayor said, I wasted all the money on my lawsuit when the JIF covered it, and it was costing taxpayers money. This is taxpayers' money. Commissioner Tobey said, I'm doing what I was elected to do, and that is looking out for the interest of people of Margate. She's befuddled. Why is she being targeted? Commissioner Tobey, when you found out that there was a situation, did you go to the business administrator?
Sharon, your time is
and
up.
did you didn't cut anybody off. Go to the business administrator and ask them to call it Marketplace Realty? No, you put it in the newspaper. Sure, put it in the newspaper, and now we have a lawsuit, and all of you know it. And you're responsible, Mayor Becker, because you're the one that approved it. Commissioner Bob Blumberg said no. And your solicitor knows it as well.
Any other public comment?
$10,000 of our money. That's the best.
Any
I'll make a motion, we close public comment.
I'll second.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Blumberg?
Yes.
Talby?
Yes.
Is there any public comment on second reading of ordinances or resolutions?
Sewell, 22 West Drive. Mayor, may I direct your attention to Resolution number 82? I don't mind these resolutions being bare bones and sparse of facts, but it doesn't recite the consideration for a leasehold. And you can't have a lease without consideration, Counselor. So my question, if it's a legitimate question, if it's lacking in definitiveness, it should have recited consideration, Mayor. We shouldn't have to Oprah each resolution issue. Where's the leasehold, Mayor? And where's the recitation of consideration? Is this another one of your sweetheart deals? Is this another one of your under-the-table, backroom shenanigans? Do I have to raise a brew, to get some action on this? A brouhaha is what you have at Robert's Place. A brew and then a couple of ha-has.
Mayor, let me
Put it to rest. Put it to bed.
I'm going to put the rest for you.
Thank you.
The lease consideration is $1 per year for the term of this non-exclusive lease and the covenants and agreements hereinafter contained. And so it's a $1 plus, which is over from Old English law, comes in as $1, plus all the compliance with the mutual agreements and covenants within the lease, among them being what the Little League provides to the city's recreation efforts.
Now, esteemed solicitor, under the mayor's sweetheart giveaway contract,
Which what are you talking about?
I'm talking about tens of thousands of dollars that the mayor gave away. When it's not his guilt, he's mighty generous. Because the mayor was picking up the air conditioning and heating on that bill. Who's picking it up now?
John, you're way off.
I'm not way off, solicitor. I know what I'm talking about.
It's the Little League organization that runs the various baseball recreation programs over at the ball field, which includes the batting cage, which the Little League organization, to their everlasting credit, expended at least $300,000 to $400,000 plus hundreds of hours of devoted time to build. So, no, there's no big giveaway. I don't.
Who's picking up the utilities on that batting cage?
I believe the city does pay the electric.
All right, that's a truthful answer for a change. The mayor's...
What answer?
What?
What did you say? That's a what kind of answer?
That's a truthful answer.
Yeah, you always get a truthful answer from me, John.
Yes.
So
I may have to do root canal to get it,
Nah,
but I get it.
I don't think so.
The mayor is once again giving away taxpayer dollars.
No taxpayer dollars. Well, look, I'm not going to argue with it. No.
You're not going to argue about the Field of Dreams. That's already been argued.
You're done. Just for the record, the city has been paying Little League utilities long before Mayor Becker was elected.
Not on batting cage, Mayor. That's all.
On that same resolution, many communities support their Little Leagues. That's what it's about. It's our kids, and we're just supporting them. And I don't know what John's issue is with it, and I don't know what the concerned citizens' issue was, or Commissioner Darby's issue with it, okay? This wasn't about the Little League making money, spending money, taking money from the city. It was a situation of a great organization working together with the city supporting them, and everything was happy until either Commissioner Tarby started it or concerned citizens, and they dug and they dug and they dug, and they couldn't find anything. I sat in a meeting once, and they said, we'll keep looking till we find a problem with this lease. And the end result is, And I'm sure Solicitor Abbott has billed many hours on this lease, and Little League people have been trashed because of this lease, and that they're no good and they're making money, and it's all for naught. Wasted energy, negative. And the end result is it costs the city money. It's Little League. Let it go.
You can talk to us. Any other public comment on second reading of ordinances and resolutions?
Steve Warner, 103 North Sumner Avenue. I'd like to thank Solicitor Abbott for all the work that he's done to finally get the city in compliance with Green Acres. And, all we wanted, the concerned citizens, was for things to be in compliance. We didn't want these, we wanted to be in compliance, so it didn't develop into a situation like in Ventnor, where they just did whatever they wanted to do, and then when they didn't consult Green Acres, like for instance with the library, and now they have a big problem with Green Acres, and I wanted to avoid that, and we wanted to avoid that, and I think you've done a good job, and I thank everybody that worked on it. Thank you.
Anyone else? Motion to close, please.
I make a motion that we close public comment.
Second.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Blumberg?
Yes.
Ms. Talby?
Yes.
Mr. Hilton?
We have second reading of ordinance 2014-10, amending Chapter 75 badges, beach badges regarding the veterans.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Blumberg?
Yes.
Ms. Talby?
Yes.
We have the first reading of ordinance 1411, amending Chapter 257 vehicles and traffic for handicap parking at 14 North Jefferson and 210 North Kenyon.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Blumberg?
Yes.
Talby?
Yes.
First reading of ordinance 2014-12, granting consent and permission to South Jersey Gas Company for the use of the public streets.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Blumberg?
Yes.
Talby?
Yes.
13, bond ordinance appropriating $2,257,834 for various school improvements.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Blumberg?
No.
Ms. Talby?
Yes.
Ordinance 2014, the 10 ordinances that follow, 14 through 23, are all the same in context. They are introductory. Second reading is the 17th of April, 5 p.m. They increased the fines for the 10 different categories as spelled out on the agenda, if that's okay with the solicitor, instead of repeating each one.
Yeah, I think just a broad explanation.
It's first reading only.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Blumberg?
Yes.
Mr. Talby?
Yes.
And we have Resolution 77, which will adopt the 2014 municipal budget.
I'll make that motion.
I will second that motion.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Blumberg?
Yes.
Ms. Talby?
Yes.
And, Resolution 78 approves payment of claims and payroll.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Blumberg?
Yes.
Ms. Talby?
Yes.
Resolution 79, a payment to Colmar in the amount of $595.70.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Mr. Blumberg?
Yes.
Ms. Talby?
Yes.
80, approves change order number 3 for asphalt road program, a decrease in $8,838.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Blumberg?
Yes.
Ms. Talby?
Yes.
81, approves a recycling tonnage grant application.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Blumberg?
Yes.
Ms. Talby?
Yes.
82, authorizes the lease agreement between the city and Little League Green Acres.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Blumberg?
Yes.
Ms. Talby?
Yes.
83, award to contract for the redevelopment of well number 10, the Lane Christensen.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Blumberg?
Yes.
Ms. Talby?
Yes.
84, award to contract to Schaefer Pyrotechnics for $15,000 for the fireworks.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Blumberg?
Yes.
Ms. Talby?
Yes.
85, approves specifications for the purchase of a four-wheel drive beach tractor.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Blumberg?
Yes.
Ms. Taube?
Yes.
86, accepts the engineer's schematic of proposed renovations to the City Hall at 1 South Washington.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Blumberg?
Yes.
Ms. Taube?
Yes.
87, approves specs for Phase 1 mechanical renovations to the Union Avenue Municipal Building.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Blumberg?
Yes.
Ms. Taube?
Thank you, Tony.
Yes.
Is there a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Blumberg?
Yes.
Ms. Taube?
Yes.
Thank you.